Hey YouTube, just wanted to go over a repair job I'm working on. I had a customer ship me a MacBook from Canada. It's a good little MacBook, and I've already worked on this board, but I made a mistake when working on it, and I wanted to share it with you guys. The board came in with lots of corrosion. This plug is damaged, heavy water damage all through the backlight circuit. This cap was heavily damaged. This cap was damaged. Tons of corrosion in this area. This regulator ended up being shorted. Had to replace it. Had to replace two caps there. Had to replace a resistor. Lots of water damage. It looked like food had gotten in the machine. I even did the TIs were fine, but I had to do a little rework and clean up back here. But the back side, this side wasn't major. There was some damage around the Hall effect here. I fixed that. But a lot of times when I get a board that's really heavily water damaged and I don't see any corrosion or anything around the CPU, nothing around the video plug, there was no corrosion in this area at all. All the corrosion was localized right here. So I made an assumption. I decided that, oh, the CPU and all that's probably fine. So I just started working on the corrosion. And it was pretty labor intensive. I had to pull this chip, this chip, this chip, this chip. I had to fix traces. I had to fix missing traces here. I wonder if we can zoom in on that. Yeah, see? This trace was damaged, which had a via on it. And then I had to solder a test lead onto here, run around to the other side, so I can find that. Yeah, I had to run around, there it is. Had to run around to the other side and solder a lead onto this line to make sure that the feedback via was intact, because I couldn't own both sides of the board at the same time. I had trace repair here. I went ahead and fixed these traces. This pretty labor-intensive repair on a water damage. But what I'm seeing on these newer MacBooks, they've switched to a smaller scale of components, and the water damage is a little more destructive. On a MacBook Air, because the size of the parts on the board were slightly larger, it's a little more spread out, you didn't have as much of a problem fixing water damage. So it's 9:42 right now. I started working on this board this morning, probably around 5:30. I worked on it till maybe 7, fixing damage. Then came up and had coffee. Then came back downstairs, worked on it again. So it's a significant amount of time invested on this. I probably into this for 3.5 hours. There was a short, which is very, very common when you get a water damaged machine, that this cap shorts. I don't know why, but it always does. Sure enough, it was toast, so I replaced both of these. Then I find out my short is still present, which is a little unusual. It turns out under thermal, I did some checks, and this FET was shorted. No problem, went to the donor board, replaced that. And that is after I fixed all the trace and corrosion repair. Then I went and did this. Couldn't find any more damage. I thought we were ready to go. Let's see what happens. "19 volts. All right." But nothing. No current draw. So I'm like, all right, I have a short somewhere. And I made the mistake of not checking all of my rails before I started. I just attacked the water damage. Got over to here. Shorted. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just the PP bus that's shorted. Hopefully the CPU is good, I thought. Took these off, still shorted. The PCH is shorted to ground on this side. I could have saved myself 3 hours had I just checked this first. Even though there is no physical evidence that water was over here, there was, and that sent a surge of voltage into the PCH and trashed the CPU. So now I've got a dead board that's not repairable unless I put it on the Zaumau that Louis Rossman calls it. I have a Metcal, not a Zaumau. I can put it on the Metcal if I can even find this CPU, which I really can't. So basically we got a dead board and it's not repairable after I fixed everything, fixed all the damage. But this is the last piece, and there's a short inside the PCH. So I have to condemn the board, and I got to call the customer and say, hey, you're looking around $325 for a new board and $100 to put it in, so you're looking around $425, $450 shipping, you know, to get it back to you. So you're looking around $450 repair on a machine that is maybe worth $700-800. So don't know here, but that's shame on me for not checking. This is very common that this PCH section shorts on these machines. It's very, very sensitive, but because this whole area was clean, I just made the assumption that we were good, and I pulled these coils off just to isolate it, and it was right there, PCH short to ground. And if I pull that up on the board view, you can see I was in this area just a few moments ago looking, and there it is right there. And you pull it up on the CPU, and it's the PCH S5G. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. So I cannot fix that. This processor is toast. This board is now a donor, or I ship it back with the machine. But I just wanted to share with you guys, when you work on these, don't do what I did and cook 3 hours of your time and not get paid for it because you made the assumption the CPU is fine because there was no water damage in that area. It was not fine. That's it for today.